Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to HipHughes History. We're going to see if we can't talk a little bit about the 14th Amendment and the current debt situation that's going on, because that's what smart people do. And if you're a student or you're just cray-cray on the internet, interesting stuff for interesting people. So currently, we made a debt ceiling video, previous to this, but I think that we all understand on the 17th of this month, October, in the year of the Lord 2013, the United States is about to go past the debt ceiling. And of course, the debt ceiling is instituted by Congress as kind of the total or maximum amount of money that the United States can borrow on debt. And of course, Congress is responsible for paying any debt that it accumulates. And currently, we're approaching $17 trillion. $17 trillion. So one solution that's been proposed is that the president could unilaterally increase the debt limit or just kind of void the debt limit. And that comes from the wording in the 14th Amendment. So before we talk about the 14th Amendment, we're just going to remind everybody out there in TV land that there's different interpretations of the Constitution, different paradigms of interpretation, in fact. There are strict interpretationalists, kind of people that look at the language and take each word like kind of the best they can literally. There's broad interpretation, which takes kind of the spirit of the words and uses it in modern context to kind of maybe justify or use as an argument for doing a certain public policy or executive action or such like that. And then there's actually what's called original intentionalists, which not only are literalists word for word, but go back to the spirit of the idea in the context of the times that it was written, and only there shall it would apply. Someone like Antonio Scalia on the Supreme Court. So certainly, whatever pair of glasses that you put on, you're gonna understand what I talk about differently. But don't worry, you're still an American. Good for you. So the 14th Amendment has 5 sections, and of course the 14th Amendment was passed during Reconstruction times, really with a radical Republican Congress that really even had veto power over Andrew Johnson. And of course, the president has nothing to do with amending the Constitution. It's normally used with 2/3 of both houses of the legislature and 3/4 of the states, and with a theoretical gun to the state's head, because the Civil War has just been won, and the southern states, in a sense, have to agree to these demands in order to come back to the Union. But nevertheless, we're talking about today. We're talking about the 14th Amendment, which exists today. So anybody out there that's like, the 14th Amendment it's not constitutional. Well, it's in the Constitution, it's constitutional. However it got there, it got there. So, sections 1, 2, and 3 are not directly relevant to what we're talking about. The most famous part of the 14th Amendment is the Equal Protection Clause, which is the first part, and then basically changing the nature of federalism by telling states that they're going to have to protect the life, the liberty, and the property and of all of its citizens. This is designed, of course, to protect African Americans from their state governments, and that's been used, of course, to expand federal government power in order, under kind of the guise or the umbrella of protecting equal rights. So whether it's African Americans or gay Americans, the 14th Amendment is normally used like that. But one of the pieces that is relevant to the debt ceiling is the 4th and the 5th. Section 4 of the 14th Amendment states that the validity of the public debt shall never be questioned. And there's kind of a clause in there in the middle that says, now, if you're fighting the government, insurrection, rebellion, we're not talking about your debt, slave holders, lost property, Confederacy, borrowing money from other countries. We're talking about the validity of the United States debt shall never be questioned. And what Obama could do, claim some scholars, is use that part of the 14th Amendment to just increase the debt ceiling, saying the Constitution says the validity of the public debt shall never be questioned, and I'm not going to let that happen because that's what the Constitution says. That would inevitably end up in the Supreme Court, and that's why Obama doesn't want to do it. That's what he says. He says, yeah, I probably could do it, but, what's that going to say to creditors around the world if you're going to challenge, whether I have the right to do that? But the Supreme Court could either expand the powers of the presidency and let him do it, or some scholars, like Jeffrey Rosen on CNN, states that they probably dismiss the case because whoever was suing or whoever brought the case wouldn't have standing. And you have to have standing in order to bring the case up. Section 5 of the 14th Amendment kind of throws another kind of nut in there, and it says that Congress shall be the ones that kind of enforce this and make sure that happens. So if Congress is the one doing it, Do they really have to enforce it? Are they the ones enforcing it if the president's doing it? Larry Curly Moe, cray cray, oh my gosh. So, the 14th Amendment, the validity of the public debt, I don't know, what do you think, right? We got comments below, lay it on the line there. Why don't you guys have a little bit of a crossfire in my comment section? And why don't you click the monkey? Because if you click the monkey, you're gonna go to my page and you're gonna subscribe and you're gonna support gangster teaching. All right, woo woo, cray cray, there you go guys. Check out other lectures. Make sure you check out the other EDU guru links that I have listed below, and you can grow your brain 3 times its size as much as you want. Where attention goes, energy flows. I'm out of here. See you later. Bye.